Morning, guys and girls. I'd say morning, everyone, but that would be something of a misnomer, I recognize. I'm Oswald Smith, and I'll be talking about how I implemented Google Transit for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company. So, just a little bit about who I am. I'm a final year computer science student at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus in Kingston, Jamaica. Think Bob Marley, Usain Bolt. I've been a Python user since version 1.5.2, and so that kind of shows my age a little bit, but a gentleman never tells, so you're going to have to guess that one. Yes, I use Windows. You can gasp in horror right now. Get over it. It works. There you go. You can't beat the battery life. Well, except for the Macs, but we won't get into that today, another time. And as I said before, I implemented Google Transit for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company. Now, the Jamaica Urban Transit Company is Jamaica's state-owned public transit agency. And so it operates within the city of Kingston and another municipality called Portmore. So, let's go right into it. Now, let's talk about what exactly Google Transit is. So, it's a part of Google Maps, and it allows transit agencies, both public and private, as long as they operate a scheduled service and defined routes, to basically embed their transit data within Google Maps. And so you can access it wherever you access Google Maps. So, you get data such as the fare, schedule, routing information, and what I particularly love about it is that, especially for us Android users, it integrates beautifully with Google Now. So when I just swipe down from the bottom of my home screen, it will just automatically tell me, okay, there's a bus stop right up the road, and you can catch these particular buses from that bus stop, and they arrive at whatever destination at whatever time, and it costs you whatever amount. So it's been implemented in over 800 cities across 70 countries, and as far as I've been able to tell, Jamaica was the first country in the Caribbean to have it implemented, so we're very proud of that. So, let's see. This is what Google Transit would look like if you're accessing it from your computer. Resolution's a bit low, it seems, but over here you have basically a detailed summary view, as it were, and on the other side you would have the mapping view, showing the start locations and the path traced where the bus would take, and the different stops along the way. On mobile, which is a system most people actually use the system, it's a bit different. So from top to bottom, you can put in your location, or just leave it to GPS to automatically fill that in for you. Put in your destination, and so here you have different options available for travel. In our case, Cab 5 is the largest cinema in Kingston, so you're going on a date. Hey, you probably want to be going to Cab 5. And so you have different options and different routes. So from you can see that we have one option. You can take the number 78 bus, and it's going to take us 30 minutes. It costs 120 Jamaican dollars, which is pretty almost exactly $1 US. And it leaves my location at 7:30 and arrive at 7:43 in the evening. And so we have right here. Now, if you tap on any of these options, then this screen in the middle would come up, and you would get the actual mapping view. So the location right there, that point is at the start of the stop. Okay, that's where you're starting from, and this is where you're going. And then to the further view, once you tap here, you get the actual detail of basically walking directions. So you can walk on the bus stop and they'll show you 550 meters, the different bus stops along the way, and from there you can tap them and you can actually see a listing of all the bus stops along the route, and they will be traversed in order of the trip. So that's the mobile view. Now, that's a user-facing section of Google Transit. But since we're all geeks, let's geek out and see what happens behind the scenes. So, Google Transit is powered by what's called GTFS. That's the General Transit Fee Specification. It's an open standard. In fact, it was actually first called the Google Transit Fee Specification, but it's not been opened up, and actually it's now being used by Bing Maps as well as Apple Maps. And we know what that was like. So that's GTFS, and open standard reference is available to anyone basically. It's continually evolving. They're continually adding features which are basically fields in the different files to represent different types of information. Now, there are two flavors of it. The static flavor, in which, okay, the bus is supposed to reach here at this time and that time, and but hey, what's that thing that no battle plan survives contact with the enemy? Pretty much here. And of course, those schedules will be planned based off statistical sampling, surveys done by transit planners and so on. But on a day-to-day basis, it might vary, and more than likely will vary. There's also the real-time part, which is, we haven't implemented that yet, but that is coming. So if you have the AVL systems on the buses, that's the automatic vehicular locators, that will feed into your system, and so you can be standing on a bus stop, and it can tell you as a matter of fact that the bus is really right around the corner, it's coming in 30 seconds, so get out of your house and go meet it right now. It's also supposed to be like if the buses are equipped with it, you can put in congestion system to say, okay, traffic is very congested right now, or you can say that, well, the bus is actually full, or the trip is supposed to arrive at the Bob Marley Museum is going to be 2 minutes late or maybe 2 minutes early. All of that can be done. So GTFS feeds are technically they're really simple. It's just it's a zip file containing text files in CSV format. Why the format wasn't just .csv in the first place, I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. It's about 13 files total, 6 of which are required and 7 are optional. So let's look at what the required files are. These are the particularly interesting ones. The agency, that's pretty much metadata about what transit agency the actual field you're looking at represents. Stops are the locations where passengers will get out. Basically bus stops. And you have to put in geographic coordinates for them. Each of them has a unique identifier, as well as a description that a local person will be able to understand. So you can't just put stop 1, stop 2. It would have to be stop outside the Courtyard Marriott, or stop outside what's the name of this place? Biblioteca Pedro Mel? Something like that. Something that someone locally could say, okay, where is that? And they could point you to it. The route start text are pretty much standard, so we can have a route, say, from the university here to the colonial zone, and that route will be composed of several trips throughout the day, leaving and arriving at different times, of course. Stop times that text is where it gets particularly interesting. So within a particular trip, so the trip is comprised of basically the bus moving along different stops in the route. Now, what happens here is within the stop times is that for each movement of the bus, you have to say, okay, what time the bus arrives at that bus stop and then leaves it, and for every single bus stop in the route. And that's where it gets really complicated. Calendar.txt, that's not very difficult either. Just basically the days of the week when the service is available, because with most public transit agencies, you find that they operate different schedules on the weekend versus holidays and so on. So calendar.txt is that. We're not going to look at the optional files because of time. Now, what happened was 2013. Let's take it back a few years now. So I just started first year of my computer science degree. I live 90 minutes away by bus, and I'm traveling to school every day. At the time, I'm an IT consultant, so I have clients. Now, these clients, some of them are very formal places. One of them, for example, it's a diplomatic mission. You can't exactly know what you would wear to school going in to fix the ambassador's computer. They'll turn you back at the door. That's not going to happen. So I'm here, dressed in suits, going to school and having to leave school to go to leave a class and then go to the ambassador's office. Now, I don't know in suits. I think I would pretty good in a suit. So hey, however, wearing a suit under the hot Jamaican sun is not particularly the most pleasant of experiences. So that was bad. And then so I'm waiting on the bus, no idea when the bus is coming, and if you're going to somewhere unfamiliar, you basically have to, it's a look at the drawer. Excuse me, do you know what bus goes there? Yes, I think it's that one. And someone say, no, it's not that way. You take that one and come off there. No, it's one. And Jamaicans love to give directions. You just walk up and say, hey, okay, and you have people lining up waiting to tell you. So I was not a happy camper at all, and I knew there had to be a better way. And so I did my Googles, and hey, Google Transit. So I decided that something had to be done. Now, being in government departments, I don't know how true this is in other countries, but I suspect it is. If you're just a guy walking in off the street, they might not pay you much attention. So this is what I was going to, in a sense, do it through the university. And so I called the JUT. First I spoke to the head of the computer science department. He loved the idea, thought it would be a good thing. And he said, okay, go ahead, and if they're okay, not a problem, we'll support you from our end. And so I spoke to the college JUTC and got a meeting with them. It turns out that one of the high-ranking officials at the JUTC had done computer science at my university as well, so I'm pretty sure that did help to smooth things over. Now, so we got the meeting. Now, yeah, stuff happened, and by stuff I mean so the meeting was set for Tuesday afternoon. I think this might have been late November in 2013. So they told me that the JUTC depot is in a place called Nagus Head in Portmore. So I'm there on Google Maps trying to find it, can't find it. And as it was on Google Maps. Now anybody in Jamaica knows that when you want to get somewhere quicker, you don't know what to do. You take a coaster bus. Yep, and they're as unsafe as they look. You've been in the city for a few days. You see the guys driving and the conductors hanging out by lane and pulling out. It's pretty much the exact same thing. We call them coaster buses because pretty much all the guys that I've ever seen uses the Toyota model called the coaster. I kind of think of them as binary buses because they're supposed to seat 32 people, but most times they're at 64. You know, it's an increasing powers of 2. Some people call them binary buses. I think so. So I had the meeting finally, and then of course, as I said, stuff happened. Now you would think that as a basic matter of principle, I would even respect that if you're going to meet the government bus company about something that you're implementing for the government bus system, you might want to take a government bus to get there. No. So I was in Halfway Tree. Halfway Tree is the central part of Kingston, and that's where you have what's called the Halfway Tree Transport Center. So I got there, decided I was running late, and because I didn't know what bus went to the place, I jumped on a coaster. So I said to the driver conductor, gentlemen, I'm coming off at the JTC depot, and I was said, of course, we'll reach you no problem. So for 15 minutes, I said, guys, you remember me? And he said, yes man, no problem, it's all good. 5 minutes later, because this time I knew they were actually in Portmore, I said, guys, are you sure there? Yeah man, everything good, no problem, real Jamaican style. 2 minutes later, I'm saying, guys, what happened to me? And he said, oh no. It turns out that person I stopped a long time ago, just in the chaos of everyday travel, they'd long forgotten about me. And at the speed that these guys drive, 10 minutes driving is a whole lot of walking. So they have to go around, take some corners. These are places I live in Kingston, I've never seen them before. And they have to double back and then come back around, all that stuff. Long story short, as we say in Jamaica, I ended up meeting 45 minutes late. Yes, And I remember walking through the gate of the depot, and I'm here questioning my life choices and saying, imagine, you try to get, because, let's be honest, I didn't think that I would have gotten a meeting in the first place. We're talking about government here, civil service, when I called, they said, okay, sure, come right in next week, which I didn't expect at all. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I blew it. Here I was talking all this good stuff, I'm going to go transit for Jamaica first in the Caribbean, and the simple thing was showing up on time. You can't do that. If you can't show up on time, how are you going to try to get buses to show up on time? So, luckily, the officials with whom I was supposed to meet, they were still there, and so I told them what happened, and they had a good laugh at my expense. And of course, they gave me that lecture, see, this is why we tell you, take the government buses, don't take these coastal buses. So I had a good laugh at my expense. But when I was in the meeting, it occurred to me, the reason I hadn't taken the government bus in the first place was because, for one, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what bus would have taken me there. I didn't know where I should have been on the bus and where I should have gotten off. So the very thing that was in their offices to picture them would have been a solution to my problem. And when I brought it up to them, they got it immediately, to their credit. So just before this, I explained the system to them, and I said, okay, no problem, we're gonna do this. And I said, okay, that was easy. Are you sure? And I was so surprised. I really thought out of it, that it's too easy because it's government. You're expecting red tape, bureaucracy, and all the reasons why it can't be done. But they said, okay, go ahead. And they said, okay, so I'm going to need this data, that data. Okay, have that. Okay, how soon can I get it? You can have it tomorrow morning. Okay. Government, receptive, has the data, willing to share the data. This is not what I ordered. Because I'm talking points, and I'm going to try to sell them, and I'm trying to close them like Harvey Specter in suits, the number one clothes in the city. It wasn't necessary. They got it right away. In fact, one of them personally, we wanted to do something like this for quite some time, but we just weren't sure how to go about it. So I just walked in off the street, and hey, and they loved it. Now, let's go back to some of the files that are within a GTFS feed. So there's agency.txt, stops, routes, and calendar. So you can see that the agency, in fact, at the top, that's the agency.txt for our feed, and that's literally what is to it. Simple stuff. You can practically do that by hand. For the stops file, a bit more involved, and this is what I'm saying. So you can see the human readable description, and then you put in the geographical coordinates so they can actually be plotted on the map. And so within the GTC system, I think there's about 800 or so stops. Pretty simple as well. For one, pretty simple. And then there should be a head sign here, that's in trips.txt. So you can basically see how this information will be useful. So let's see what's that text, and the calendar, this is the entire calendar that text for the actual feed that's currently operating right now. So we divide the service into 3 different types of service IDs. For weekdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Later on in the presentation, you'll see why. So there's a feed here for every day of the week. So weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and excluding Sundays, excluding Saturday and Sunday, and you can find for Saturday and Sunday here. And this says that the entire feed is in effect from 2016 January 6 to March 22 for all of these service IDs. So as I said, this part is relatively easy. You can do that by hand. It's not a problem. The hard part, stop times.txt and trips.txt. Now, these are the columns in a component, stop times.txt at the top and trips.txt at the bottom. Now, when the JTC gave me their data, this is what it looks like. So it's in Microsoft Excel, and this is an extract of one route. And initially, we have 3 different types of bus routes in Kingston. Then the regular route for operating every day. Then there are express routes. So here, basically targeting here, for example, there's one from the center of the city to the university. There's one from the type of major thoroughfares, and there are premium routes as well. So for now, the regular route. So I'm going to say about extras, So this is the one that they gave me. So for you, Hillsong to city on a weekday. So each point here represents what's called a timing point in transit. So for the first trip of the day, you can see the price it depends not only on I can't make out the time here, but you can see it going along and then it's around the city. That's one trip. And then there's a return trip from city back to Herschel. So, and then you can see this trip for the weekday, then the Saturdays, and then the Sundays below that. So I need to find a way to convert that into this, because this is what it should look like in the end. With the different time, what time is passing, at which bus stop, and what number bus stop that is in the sequence, so you can actually plot your route. So let's take a closer look so you can see what's happening here. So good. So this will be the stop times that takes for route 1. But it's actually I say the segment showing route 1. So from the top you'll see the first time that we have is 5:30, and because we didn't have data about when the bus came and when the bus came to the stop and when it left, we just standardized on using the time when it actually left the stop. So it's 5:30 in both instances. The number after that is the stop ID, and the one after, so this is the first stop in the route. As an aside, according to the standard, the first stop doesn't have to be number 1. It's just that, and you don't even have to have them in order. It's just that the stop IDs must, the stop sequence numbers rather, must increase along the route. So you can start at 117 if you want, as well as the next one is 118. And then you're fine. Now, notice, we have what the standard allows is that at a minimum, you just need stop times for the first stop and the final stop. In our case, as you see in the Excel sheet, we have about 5 time stops along the way. And so these are So it leaves it up at 5:30. The next stop is at the next time stop is at 5:55 at stop number 60, and it's actually stop number 28 in the sequence. So the blank space represents stops 2 to 27. Then there's more blank space there, and the next time stop 6:07 and 6:17, and the final one is 6:27 in the morning. And so that's just the first trip of the day. As you can imagine, there's several of them. Now, what happens to the times to stop, so you don't have to answer. Google Transit actually does the interpolation for you automatically right there. It does that. So, I had all that data to transform into this. Now, guys, take a look. This is me at home working. We program a vertical screen on the left, big screen on the right, and so on. You think that I have some fancy system to get it all done, press a button, go have a coffee and come back. But I must reluctantly confess that I started doing it by hand. Yep, I did. This big, I can see you cringing. Yes, it was bad. It was bad. I had this big Excel spreadsheet going across, and I'm literally alt-tabbing and looking at what's there, copying by one, and then the standard I want you to have the time, and I think it's basically, you can say AM or PM, has to be 24-hour format. So I look at the time, 3:58 PM, okay, so I'm typing out 15:58:00. You can imagine that I didn't last very long with that. It took me about 2 hours. Then I remember, why are you weekends and evenings being wasted doing this? When you're here talking about you've been programming in Python since 1.5.2. That's when I remembered Python to the rescue. And I found my salvation in about 447 lines of Python 3. It took me about the entire weekend, but I can tell you, when I remember if I learned about 5:30 one Monday morning, I jumped and touched the ceiling, because if I was continuing to do that by hand, that's months of work. And listen, I've had so many hours, it would have been crazy. So this is a small extract of it. The code is terrible, as it's supposed to be. Sue me. It worked. It processed the entire feed in just about 22 seconds. In fact, I'll do a quick screen grab this now where I was running it. So you can see this is output from the console when it's running. I wish we had some higher resolution here. But yes, this is a screenshot traffic running inside of PyCharm. 22 seconds, and it's all done. And so this takes care of both the both the stop.txt and the trip.txt, because each of these will represent a single trip. And we separate the trips by direction. So that trips going outbound, and outbound from the origin, and the inbound trip from the destination back to the origin. So we finally got that working, and now in terms of the process to get the actual feed launched, you have to sign up with Google as a transit partner, and this is where it got a bit tricky. We thought we understood the GTFS standard. It turns out there are some parts of we were kind of a bit shaky on. So we created the first feed, sent it over to Google. Google took their time and said, by the way, you need to do this and this and that as well. So back to the drawing board. Cost us months. We did that a second time. No, you need to do this way, that. Back to the drawing board, we have to do it again. And then finally we had a comparing feed, and it took some time, because what Google actually does, they actually go onto the transit agency's website and check out what's in the feed and corresponds to what's on the website. So the JTs had to make some changes on their website as well to make sure that it was there. It was in correspondence with what we were publishing in the feed. And then Google did their quality checks, and after starting this entire process in November of 2013, it finally went live on Google Maps, and I think it was May 11 of last year. It was kind of anticlimactic, because I've been working on this for 2 months, and initially, when I started in November of 2013, we planned to launch it by December, by the next month. The slight way, just to give us a date on but of course, life and other plans. So we have a couple of pictures from the launch. From the pictures, here's my department. Department of Computer Science. And for the university, because what happens is that the university had somewhat developed a reputation for only being interested in theory and no practical application to national development. So something like this, the entire university supported it. So the actual principal of the university came out, Professor Archibald McDonald. That's my mom in the center. That's me. The next gentleman, Dr. Lewis Myers, he's actually the Minister of State in the Ministry of Transport. And just by coincidence, he was actually my general practitioner when I was a child. So it was good to see him again after so many years. And to be fair, that's Dr. Camille Bell Hutchinson. She is the campus registrar. So we got good support from the UA. Wrong one. This side. A couple more pictures from the launch. We have the large banners there. He's the managing director of the JUTC, Colin Campbell. And I must pay her, give a special this lady here. She's Colin Barrett. She's a transport planning manager at the JUTC. So she's the one who I work with on a daily basis. And she's very sharp, very, very sharp. I commend her. To the extreme right is her manager, that's Mrs. Marlene Evans Roche. However, now to sum up, there's a better way to do this, however, because the actual code that I went in and did the actual text wrangling is very naive, and you saw the comments littered all over the place, the hard-coded data and all that stuff. Ideally, I learned this just last semester when I was doing my compilers course, but a better way to do this is the same way how we did compilers for languages. Now, since the data in the Excel sheet is pretty much standardized, we can basically design a language for it per se. And we design just like we did for any programming language. You define what's called a context-free grammar. And what the context-free grammar does, it literally defines what the syntax of a language is. Now, in the same way that human grammar, that English and Spanish grammar define what a legal sentence in English and Spanish is, the same way we define a grammar for that. And I will do that. Now, so what we're doing is these are parser generator called PLR, that's Python, Lex, and Yak. For the more old school ones, Lex and Yak parser and Lex generator tools written in C from way back in the day. They were put into Java, into like, I think, JFlex and COP. And David Beasley, well-known Pythonist, he created Python, Lex, and Yak. So that's what we'll be doing. So we're going to use PLR to create a parser on the Lexa. The parser producer is called the abstract syntax tree. And then standard compiler stuff, you write the tree or traverse the tree to produce that final feed. So the next feed is doing much. And by next feed, I mean that the JUTC, their feed changes about 6 times for the year. Depending on how school is in session for certain holidays, based on their statistical sampling over the years to know that, okay, at this point of the year, sometimes you might not need so many trips on that route, it's diverse on the buses over there. So that's how the next feed will be done. Also, as a computer science student, you have to do a final year project. So my final year project is actually going to be a validator for GTFS. Google actually has an open source validator written in Python as well. The problem is that the output isn't very useful. The output will tell you that, okay, we found 25 errors. Here are the first 5. Have fun. So you have to fix those 5 errors, run back to the validator, and then try again. So for my final project, I'm actually going to be building a virtual GTFS validator. So the work continues in the system. That's my email address. On our social media, I'm at Oswald A. Smith. Are there any questions? Yeah.
What did you use for the data transformation? Did you use a library like Pandas?
Oh, no, but it was just,
37 lines of Python.
Might have been. I did use, I think I used Tablet from Kenneth Reese for the final output. Just to get a formatted CSV file output, but apart from that, it was written from scratch.
Is there a reason you prefer to do it from scratch?
I need something to do. Yes. And then, sometimes I think I've been playing with pandas as well as NumPy and so on, and I couldn't wrap my head around that matrix stuff, but no. I saw it once, I thought, okay, we're going to have a drink over here, and we'll get back to that later. And Jamaican rum is, I'll hook you guys up, don't even worry about it. Any other questions? Thank you guys. This has been Python parsing for public transit. Thank you again.